Hello, Sunshines, and welcome to Valianty Plays MMM Murder Most Misfortunate by Foolish Mortals. This game was part of Itch.io's bundle for Ukraine. A gruesome murder interrupts an evening party at a secluded mansion, and you are the prime suspect. Explore the mansion, search for clues, and interrogate the other guest as you strive to unmask the killer in this open-ended mystery. Warning: this video contains strong language and imagery that some may find disturbing. Discretion is advised. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Oh, good.
I found the rest of the ladies. Now, Clumps, what is this all about?
Is that a body? Here! Oh, well, positively horrid!
Ugh! Everyone, shield your eyes! This is not a sight for fair sensibilities.
The other guests stood in the doorway opposite myself and Klops. My eyes fell on our oh-so-sensitive ingenue, Cherise. If ever there was a time to faint for real, this was it. But she didn't. She just stared into the room, her eyes wide, glassy, and unblinking.
She's in shock.
Somebody needs to call the police!
Yes, ma'am. Right away.
It'll take them a while. We're a ways out of the city.
We shouldn't touch anything. Let's all go back to the dining room and wait for the police to arrive.
No.
What?
We can't just sit and wait. We need to investigate. We need to see the truth with our own eyes. I'm with you on that, Sherry.
Well, if our precocious little darlings are going to be poking about, I'm certainly not going to be left out.
If you insist, then.
My dears, please do be very careful.
We won't disturb anything, Contessa. I promise.
That is not what I meant. It could be that whoever did this has not gone far.
Oh.
It's ridiculous.
Surely it was just some villain who has since fled the scene.
I'll keep an eye out, sir. Just nobody wander far who understand.
Perhaps it would have been more comforting to believe the culprit was some stranger, a shadow in the night that was now long gone. But it just wouldn't have fit the evening's theme, now would it? I had a hunch that there was something more afoot in the old manor that night, and I certainly wasn't going to trust anyone else to properly figure it out.
So we're back in the dining hall. And there was a body in the foyer.
Oh, what a tragedy. What a cruel twist of fate. And to think, tonight was meant to be an evening of joy and making merry.
Was it?
I'm not exactly sure that joy is the word I'd pick for an evening in this house. But I'll admit, I was never expecting anything like this.
I was.
Such a monstrous sight. Do you think Miss Leah and Miss Cherise will be alright?
All right. They looked healthy enough to me.
No, I mean, do you think they'll be distraught? You, if you don't mind me saying, are a woman of the world, Misfortune. But they are so young, so pure, like a newly bloomed flower that has only seen sunlight, never knowing that there is also night and all the horrors that it hides.
A rose, by any other name, can still prick you quite nastily if you don't know what you're doing.
I beg your pardon?
Never mind, my dear Horatio.
About the prince.
Horatio, how long have you known our dear departed host?
I have, well, had been his closest friend and confidant for many years.
Oh yes, the grand magus of his court, didn't you say?
I did, but alas, though I can conjure a parlor trick or two, I could do little to foresee this unseemly doom.
Indeed, unseemly, just the word I would have used. Presumably you would know then, if the prince had any enemies.
I mean, if he's truly royalty, he definitely did.
A man like the prince always does, but none of them are here.
I would say the evidence suggests the contrary.
Now, surely you don't mean to suggest that it was one of us. After all, didn't you say that all your husbands just died from bad luck? Perhaps it was that.
But he wasn't your husband.
Yes, quite. Bad luck.
Of knowing you. Where were you?
Where were you when this absolutely dreadful business happened?
I imagine I must have still been in the basement, or very close to it. I only just got the lights back on, and I was coming up the stairwell when Klops found me.
Was he the one to discover the body then?
I believe so. He asked me to help find all the guests, which leads me to cleverly deduce that I was the first one he encountered after the gruesome discovery.
Clever indeed. Nothing gets past you, does it, dear?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. But where were you, Misfortune?
I was in the king bedroom.
Hello.
As it happens, yes. I've always been the sort to need a little bit of me time every so often, you know.
But you could have been in danger.
Oh, horrors, you're right. If only I was clairvoyant, I might even have been worried at the time, too.
Well, never fear. You're safe with me now.
Yes, I'm sure I am.
The announcement.
Prince Titanico mentioned an announcement that he wished to make this evening. Do you know what that was all about?
Yes. Or at least, I think so.
You mean you're not sure?
You must understand, the prince was a man with a flair for the dramatic. He rather liked his secrets, and hence his surprises.
That I don't doubt. In fact, I wouldn't put it past him to have staged his own death, just to leave us all in suspense.
My dear friend did have rather unusual tastes, but I fear in this case it was not part of the plan.
I see. So, are you going to tell me then?
About what?
About the announcement, of course.
No, I think not.
Oh?
As As I said, he liked his secrets. Telling you now, it just wouldn't be what he'd want.
Well, if you do so insist on being obstinate, I suppose I will have to make do on my own.
A true magician never reveals his secrets, Misfortune, nor those of his friends.
I do believe it's about time I took a bit of a stroll.
Do be careful, Misfortune, and please, if you have need of my talents,
Worry not, my dear. If the lights happen to go out again, I'll know just who to call.
No. You may now examine your inventory. The luggage icon on the top left of the screen. Okay. I see. Where should I go? So this is the main hall. And then we go to the dining hall and then attached to the smoking room, breaker room, king bedroom, queen bedroom. So let's see. Main hall, dining hall, manor grounds. Okay. King bedroom, king bedroom. Okay, so he said he was in the breaker room. What is in my inventory? My purse.
The evening must be wearing on me more than I thought. Even my purse seems heavy. A knife? In my bag? It's even flecked with blood.
Ooh. Knife added to my inventory. Ooh.
And what's this?
An engagement
A
ring.
ring? It looks decidedly pricey, but it's not one of mine. How did it get here?
Diamond ring added to inventory.
For just a moment, I was confused. But then the gruesome sight of Titanico's body flooded my thoughts, and the truth hit me. I was being set up. Almost certainly, what I held in my hands was the knife that had stabbed the prince. I don't know how it got in my purse, but whoever put it there had made a mistake. Because if there's one thing I know for sure, it's that anyone who tries to frame me for murder is going to regret it.
I would never be so sloppy. Knife covered in blood found in my handbag. A fancy diamond ring isn't mine. I'm sure nobody would miss it. So, that's that. What is... Oh, okay, so this is all of our... okay. I see. So we can at least go back a bit. Let's go to the breaker room, because we haven't been in there yet.
This should be the break room, but... Oh! Drat it all! I really don't feel like groping around in the dark and bumping into dangerous old electrical equipment. I should probably come back after I find a flashlight or a candle.
Why isn't there a light in the breaker room? Okay. If you gain an important piece of information, it may be useful to go back and talk to characters you've previously talked to. Okay. So if I go to my journal... Okay. I just need a flashlight. So we've been to the breaker room. Let's say he was in the dining hall. Talk to Horatio, examine room. Okay, so we've already talked to him. So flag.
The family crest of the Lees still adorns some of the flags and banners that hung from the walls in the dining room. I suppose it wasn't a bad place to read. A little overly dramatic with all the spikiness, perhaps. But then, they weren't exactly a family that had cultivated a particularly cuddly image.
Monument. Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting.
At first, I I was inclined to laugh at the giant, oddly proportioned statue that was the dining room centerpiece. But as I drew closer, I couldn't help but feel a bit intimidated by the way it loomed over me.
It's really
Then
weird.
again, I could say the exact same things about that gruesome one-eyed dancer, Klops. Who'd have ever thought he would have so much in common with a work of art?
Wow. Okay.
Inside the lantern, I doubt anyone would notice if I took it.
Yay! Do I take all the candles?
Inside the lantern was a candle. I doubt anyone would notice if I took it.
Okay, I don't get extra candles.
The family crest of the leaves still adorns some of the flags and banners that hung from the walls in the dining room. I suppose it wasn't that much, a little overly.
Okay, fireplace. Another lantern. Okay. Alright, so let's go to the main hall. Probably see the body. Because I doubt it's been moved. Yep. Is Klops in
As best
here?
I knew, our mysterious murder had happened here, in the hall. At the very least, I thought the body warranted a closer look. Luckily for me, I was no stranger to corpses. Funerals for 9 different husbands will do that, you know.
13, 14, 15.
It seems I'm not alone here. But what is the poor girl doing? She's just pacing back and forth and muttering to herself. Have the evening's events already broken her fragile little mind?
She may not be that fragile. She may be a murderer.
My dear little Miss Cherise, what in the world are you doing?
I'm counting.
So good to see they still teach that in grade school these days. How marvelous.
I think the timing seems off. I need to check again.
On second thought, maybe they don't teach it so well after all. I almost think I'll regret asking. But darling, what timing's off?
It's Mr. Klops, the butler.
Valet.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, what about him then?
I saw him go into this room when the lights were out.
I see. Is that when he found the body, do you think?
I think so. He came running out looking for Mr. Horatio. I don't think he saw me.
Oh, well, you can't blame the poor man for that. He only sees half as much as the rest of us.
Oh,
But
wow.
just what does that have to do with all your pacing and counting?
I think he was in here too long.
I beg your pardon. Too long.
I've been timing how long it takes to walk from the door to the body. It doesn't add up. I'm sure he was in here longer. Maybe an extra 20 seconds.
Well, aren't you a delightfully clever little girl? Maybe you should have been a detective rather than a fabulously wealthy industrial heiress.
Oh, it's nothing really. It's just, well, it's not my first time being around a murder case. That's all. I guess that helps a little.
Oh.
In any case, it's a good thing I found you, my dear. I had a feeling you just might be in need of my expertise.
Your expertise?
Oh, yes, dear. I've buried 9 husbands after all. I've got this morning business down pat, if I do say so myself.
Forgive me, I didn't know. I'm so sorry to hear it. That's just so much bad luck for one lifetime.
One gets used to it. And it's not all bad news. My last husband, the Duke, left me this marvelous country estate that is absolutely to die for. But silly me, here I am going on and on about myself. You must be so terribly distraught by all of this.
Prince and I, well, we hadn't been seeing each other for very long. Still, it's such a horrible crime. That's why I can't rest until I know the truth behind it.
He did seem rather smitten with you, I must say.
Well, he just liked to exaggerate, I'm sure. He had rather his own unique way with words.
Unique is one way to put it. You don't suppose that in his grandiose infatuation he wrote you into his will, did he?
Oh, I can't imagine that he would have. He never said so anyway.
Pity. That's usually the first thing I ask for. Ah, well. Live and learn, my dear.
But about this other murder.
I'm sorry, my dear, but did you say this isn't your first murder?
Yes. I mean, no. I mean, it wasn't my murder. But I was there when it happened.
My. I never would have imagined. It must make for an absolutely thrilling story, I'm sure.
Please, you must forgive me, but I really don't want to talk about it.
Of course.
Lest
How
I be charged for
rude.
2 murders.
I'm sure the experience must have been just ghastly for you. But, oh my, you don't suppose it could have something to do with our current predicament, do you?
No. No, I don't think so. It was a long way away. And the killer was stopped. And besides, except for Leah and I, nobody here was involved.
Well, that's a relief. It would be just awful if there was a serial killer following you around, or something like that.
Or you were a serial
It must
killer.
just be coincidence, then, that people keep dropping dead wherever you go.
I suppose that it must be.
Let's examine this room.
I decided it was time to take a closer look at the body. Corpses are always a bit distasteful, to be sure, but I'd seen enough rich old lords kill an unfortunate hunting animals that I was rather used to it. The prince's most obvious injury was the wound on his neck. Judging from the way the clothes had been pierced, it had almost certainly been made by a knife.
That is currently in your bag.
The wound itself was deep and vicious. Clearly the work of no ordinary butter knife. The blood had soaked through the back of the prince's evening wear, but given the nastiness of the wound itself, there wasn't as much of it as I might have expected. The prince was face down on the floor, and there was an odd angle to his right leg. So odd, in fact, that I'd wager a platinum necklace or 2 that it was broken in at least one spot. Could simply collapsing on the spot from a stab wound cause a break like that?
No.
I seriously doubt it.
He fell from a significant height. Because, like, there is debris all over the place. Like, specifically around him. I think that's it. Okay.
The house must have been abandoned for quite some time indeed. For on one side of the hall, part of the wall itself had collapsed, and nature was slowly but surely spilling into the house and reclaiming its territory. Let's hope that the place will hold up long enough for us to wrap up under the party at the very least. Was it only coincidence that the trail of candles in the center of the main hall seemed to lead straight to the body of the prince? Or had our mysterious killer intentionally used them to frame their handiwork out of some sense of macabre artistry? Well, tragic as it might be to spoil a work of art, it occurred to me that a candle might come in handy for searching the darkened house. Since with all the commotion of finding the body, I must have misplaced the one I had on me.
Really?
I suppose I could die when I were here, if I knew of one worth calling. The phone itself was heavy, made of metal, and certainly quite old-fashioned. Normally, that's the sort of style I prefer, but right now, a call history of some kind would have come in rather handy. But why is the receiver dangling like that? Did this table get bumped at some point?
Probably. So I have a feeling that he was pushed from upstairs. Alright, so there's nothing else in here. Alright, so let's go to the manor grounds, which I think Klops will be out there.
When I first arrived at the manor house, I thought it might rain that evening. And in light of recent events, I half expected a flash of lightning to provide an atmospheric backdrop to the stage of our little drama, complete with a clap of thunder as the applause. But the night air hung cold and still, and the only sound was the rustling of weeds and brush that clawed against the foundations of the building. Wait, rustling? But there isn't any wind. Who's that out there?
It's just me, Misfortune. Man.
I say, what in the world are you doing skulking about in the brush like that? Don't tell me they get you to do the groundskeeping around here, too.
Sometimes I do a bit of gardening. Yeah. You know, when things get out of hand.
Gardening at a time like this?
Well, no, ma'am. Right now, I'm keeping an eye out for strangers, just to keep everyone safe.
What a relief. I do feel ever so much safer when a hulking man with an eye patch is lurking in the shadows right outside the house. So, you were in quite the tizzy when you came running to find me earlier. Was it you who found the body?
Yes, ma'am. I found it in the hall, just like you saw.
And what were you doing before that?
Well, I let the boss, the prince, into the hall to take his phone call. Then I went to the pantry to get more candles for the dining room. I didn't know how long Horatio was going to be with the lights.
So, the prince was alone then when you left him in the hall?
Yes, ma'am. Without a doubt.
Why then, it appears you may have been the last one to see the poor prince alive.
Wouldn't that actually have been the killer, ma'am?
I suppose so. But then, you did just say you were quite certain he was alive.
What do you mean by that? I'm just doing my job here.
Oh yes, of course. I'm sure you're quite excellent at, well, whatever it is that valets do. That's right. In all this commotion, I'd almost forgotten the whole reason the prince left us was to take a phone call. Do you know who was calling?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Well, that's a little odd. They didn't give a name.
I asked, but they said the matter was confidential.
So you spoke to them then. Can you describe anything at all about the caller?
Yes, I took the call, and they asked for the prince right away, which is a bit funny now that you mention it. I didn't think very many people would have this number. Anyway, pretty sure the caller was a woman. She was all crisp and businesslike too. I'm afraid I can't tell you more than that.
I suppose it would be too much to hope that this rotting old place would have call display.
No, ma'am. It's a wonder most of the wiring around here even works at all.
Must be magic, I suppose. My dear Klops, please tell me you didn't really think there might still be a stranger lurking around here in the underbrush.
Well, ma'am, no one was watching the door when the prince was in the hall. Whoever did it could have run right out the front door.
Why, indeed they could have. Not much gets by you, it seems. And yet, here you are, searching through the weeds at the base of the house. With the coast clear, would our furtive stranger not just have kept going?
I'm sure he probably did. I'm just looking for footprints.
Oh, footprints now. Ah, yes, of course. And have you found any?
Not a single one.
No, ma'am.
More's the pity. It would have been so much nicer to believe the killer was no longer in the house. Especially with our resident bodyguard busy traipsing through the muck outside.
Sorry, ma'am, but I'm just a valet.
Of course you are. Can you tell me anything about our late host? Perhaps about this grand announcement of his?
About the boss? I mean,
The prince.
Sorry, ma'am, but he wasn't the sort to confide in a mere valet like myself.
Oh, come now. I know how it is with servants. You're bound to have seen or heard a thing or two about the house, whether your master knows it or not.
Look, I take my duties seriously. I make the point not to see things that I'm not supposed to see.
Yes, I suppose not seeing things would be rather a specialty of yours.
Wow.
Tell me, have you worked for the prince for a long time?
Yes, ma'am. Many years now.
And you're still just a valet? Just is. Promotions must be hard to come by in that household.
Examining rounds.
There were stories from the time of the Revolutionary War that when soldiers first stormed the grounds of the Lee Nether, ferocious spectral beasts appeared out of nowhere to tear apart the terrified trespassers. Of course, you can't believe everything you hear, but I found myself keeping a watchful eye on the wolf statues in the courtyard, just to be sure. A rundown shed sat in the corner of the yard. Gingerly, I tried the door, but the wood had swollen, and it seemed stuck in its frame. It was just as well, I suppose. Why would I want to go inside a moldy old shed anyway?
Is that all that's out here? I guess so. But brush.
Folks claimed he had already checked the ground around the house for footprints, but I thought it wouldn't hurt to double check. Apparently I thought wrong though, for as I stepped off the path into the bush, the weeds and thorns tore at my skirts and scratched my ankles. You know, I think I'll just take the one-eyed brute for it after all. Folks claimed he had already checked the ground around the house for apparently I thought
Yep. Brush, 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 brush. Alright. Let's go back inside, I guess. Thank you for joining me as I played MMM Murder Most Misfortunate by Foolish Mortals. The next episode will be out shortly. If you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, a follow, and ring that notification bell so you know when the new episode drops. Also, don't forget to check out the link to the completely free Discord server to chat about games and whatever else is on your mind. Let's keep the comments chill, so no hate or spoilers, as I'm not above removing those comments and the people who make them. That's all for now, folks, and I'll see you next time.